Hey, how we doing, guys?
Morning, everyone.
Joe here.
Kevin.
So the West Wing right now. Last episode was kind of a wheel and deal episode.
A lot of procedural stuff, with
Yep.
the exception of CJ really showing that she's smarter than everybody else in the world.
That was exciting, wasn't it?
Yeah, she was a lot of fun in that one. She
It's a great
played everybody
episode.
like a fiddle.
There's been a few moments in the show where characters have had to put other supporting characters in their place.
Right.
The president famously at the wasn't a dinner, was it? When he calls out that
Oh, yeah, it was. It was a dinner for talk radio or news.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And CJ had her own moment, obviously at the press briefing, and I really enjoy that. You know,
Yeah, I do too.
It kind of feels like Sorkin going on a little bit of a rant. You know,
Sure.
really speaking his mind, and I liked it. The press secretaries take a lot of flack, and sometimes rightfully so. But in CJ's case, she's all aces, man.
Yeah, the only person who really caught her on the outside of the loop was Oliver Babish.
Yeah.
It was like, so all of a sudden we're getting calls for congressional hearings instead.
Yeah.
Well played.
We haven't seen him in a few episodes. I really like his character. I want to see him back here pretty soon.
Oh, he was in that last one, wasn't he? Wasn't that the episode where CJ was like,
Was it? If it wasn't that one, it's one before.
right? Yeah, I thought it was the last one where he was kind of like where she was baiting Congress to get in on the hearings,
Okay.
to get it out of the hand of whoever Babish's friend is, that was the prosecutor, the
Gotcha.
special prosecutor. So I felt like he was kind of there. Because he's the one who started out the episode. Like, why are you coming so hard at us?
Gotcha.
Which
Gotcha,
was
gotcha.
ironic, seeing as how like he said we need a really tough.
They use him so sparingly.
Sure.
It's kind of easy to get those episodes mixed
Oh,
up.
of course, absolutely.
But he's a fantastic supporting actor,
Mhm.
and you get a big star like that, and to use him in one or two scenes, it's kind of bold, honestly.
Well, sure. Just good writing, and I expect as we kind of move through the hearings and everything, we might see more of him.
Yeah.
But who knows at this point?
I bet we'll get a big hearing episode.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're going to address that.
Do you want to welcome to Patreon subscribers for the weekend, guys? So Ava Hartwell and Naomi, thanks for being here, guys. We appreciate it. Thank you.
We do. If you guys are watching us for the first time on YouTube, welcome to our channel. If you don't mind hitting that like button for us, leave us a comment down below, and please hit the subscribe button so you can stay up to date on the new content we have coming your way.
Absolutely. If you'd like to see a full reaction to this or anything else that we've watched or are watching, please check out the link in the description below to our Patreon page.
Please.
You will see full-length reactions to, among other things, every episode of The West Wing thus far.
Yes.
All right.
Do we know what kind of gun it was?
Which gun?
Oh.
The first
wow.
gun.
It was a .38 pistol. The shooting took place approximately 15 minutes into the 9 o'clock service at United Baptist Church in Abilene,
yikes.
Texas.
I thought that meant they made a generous
Oh
contribution.
my gosh.
Fun to
He was
see
in
that.
Caddyshack, right?
15
Was
minutes
he?
into the service,
Did
Daryl
he?
Bechtel. That's when Ron Carl pulled a 9mm Glock from under his suit coat and fired off 3 rounds in the direction of Mr. Bechtel. He'll be 9 years old tomorrow.
That's
Can you
awful.
speak
Ah,
to what either
okay.
Daryl Bechtel
I see
or
what they're
Ron
doing
Paul
here.
might be charged with?
Melissa Markey died.
It's terrible.
Okay, so what?
terrible.
I mean, it's kind of playing what the case they're making there is a guy goes in to shoot his wife, failed, no one is killed. It's a terrible thing.
Yeah.
But the concealed carry hero who shoots back is the one that actually
Did the damage.
did the most damage and caused the most harm.
That's awful.
Right.
You're gonna be sitting in a room. It's gonna feel like you did something wrong. But guess what?
What?
You didn't. So
You pick the Raiders at home, and you bank on them not being a prohibited favorite going into the
Not
playoffs.
anymore, you don't.
Okay.
How was church?
It was fine. Stop it.
It sucked.
You're talking about church. She feels the homily lacked panache.
It did lack panache.
It was a perfectly lovely homily on Ephesians 5:21, having cleansed her by washing of water with the word, that he might present the church to himself.
And anytime you want me to cleanse you with the washing of water, you know I'm up for it.
What is your problem?
Hackery. This guy was a hack. Words, when spoken out loud for the sake of performance, are music. They have rhythm and pitch
I agree
and
with
timbre
that,
and
I do too.
volume.
You are an oratorical snob.
Yes,
That's
I am.
true.
And God loves me for it.
You said he was sending you to hell.
For other stuff, not for this.
I'm sorry, Mr.
Oh,
President.
that would ruin your
Melissa
mood.
Markey died.
Oh,
Yeah. It's a little girl.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Family.
I guess the DA.
Yeah, but you don't want to walk too far into that.
Right. It's political at this point.
Yeah.
You heard?
I think you should send Hoynes to Texas. He's not gonna want to do it.
Yeah. Somebody's got to
All
go.
right, get him over here.
Now?
Yeah.
At this point, I'd like the record to indicate that Majority Counsel has met the witness socially on several occasions, and without objection, I'd like to proceed.
No objection. Do you keep a diary?
No.
Okay. Do you receive gifts from anyone who's currently...
I'm sorry, hang on. Okay, go ahead.
Does she have a
Do you
diary?
receive gifts from anyone who's
Sounds
currently
like he
working
knows she has a
for-
diary, is what it sounds like.
Huh.
Someone spent the night and knows
yep.
that she has a diary.
It's
Yeah.
kind of a.
Toby Ziegler says if the president wins re-election, it'll be on the vice president's coattails.
If the president wins re-election, it'll be on the vice president's coattails. Well, do me a favor, give me a little time to check it out, would you?
Yeah.
Point is, we think we need the congressman's vote to get it out of the full appropriations committee and onto the floor. He'll be with it. That's what I thought.
It would
I've heard this
permanently halt
argument. Yeah, I have
production
too,
of
yeah.
the penny.
Why?
I'm glad you asked.
Yeah.
Last year, the U.S. Mint cut 14 billion pennies.
Kansas City's got 3 players out of Notre Dame.
Yes, sir.
You always go with the team that's got more players out of Notre Dame.
Excuse me, Mr. President.
I think now you
Yeah.
take Kansas
Vice
City
President?
because they've got the guy from Texas Tech.
Yes, yeah.
You know, a decade ago, we passed a few national gun control laws, and the gun lobby turned its back on Congress and started focusing on the states. The National Conference of State Legislatures is meeting next weekend at the Convention Center in San Antonio.
And you want me to go to Texas and speak for you?
Yeah.
Oh, hey, it's Major Dad.
Yeah.
Come on back.
Major Dad.
And Simon and Simon.
Thanks for taking the
I don't
time.
know the actor's name, do you?
I've never seen Simon and Simon.
How did it go?
If the
Right.
president wins re-election, it's going to be on the vice president's coattails.
I just said that exact same thing a couple of days ago.
I know. You know how I know? Will Sawyer just told me.
I said to our own.
Oh, he has a leak in his own office.
Oh.
There's a leak in the communications office.
All right. Toby has to go Batman mode now.
He's gonna have to, right?
Ginger, I need to know why you lied before.
When?
Tell me.
I didn't lie.
I saw your diary. 18 USC 1001, lying to Congress. $10,000 and not more than 5 years in prison.
Cliff.
Months. It was a perfectly innocent mistake. And let me talk to your lawyer and help you walk this back.
He wants to abolish the penny?
He doesn't want to abolish it as much as he wants to give his boss a reason why we can't. What is the most ubiquitous man-made object in America that does not interact with any mechanism or machine?
The penny?
The penny.
Yeah.
You go in front of an unfriendly audience, you tell them something they don't want to hear. It shows you have courage.
So the editors of the New York Times will think I have courage. The
It's
NRA
different,
is going to
right.
say you're taking advantage of this shooting in Abilene. Did you like it when these things happen?
She was 9 years old.
You know, last month in Idaho, a man killed 6 members of his family because he did it with an axe. You think we need axe control?
That argument doesn't work anymore.
That is an excellent point. I never saw it that way.
The UN made up its mind in 1948 when they recognized the crime of genocide.
Yes.
Doesn't the world need a permanent standing by?
National sovereignty is at stake. Americans are answerable to no one but their own government.
If we don't subject ourselves to the treaty, it'll encourage other countries. And you don't think that'll undercut the UN's campaign against war crimes?
We're eliminating genocide. What are you doing?
Eliminating the penny? So I'll come back.
Yeah. You put them in those crank machines on vacation spots, and they and you make little souvenir plates out of them.
Dude, I have so many of those.
Yeah.
I've got like maybe 15. Like,
Really?
I've got a lot. I love doing that.
What happened?
I was asked if I kept a diary, and I said no, only I do keep a diary.
Why
So
did
she
you
did
say you
lie.
didn't?
I don't know. Cliff came to me after the deposition and told me he saw the diary when he was in my apartment. Nothing in it was
You
material.
don't get to
Nothing in it
decide
was-
that. You
He's
don't get
right.
to decide what's material and what isn't, Donna.
Please keep your voice down.
Do absolutely nothing.
Right. I misspoke because it wasn't pertinent. I was embarrassed. I was thrown off by the question. Whatever.
Yeah.
But get it on the record that you have a diary
Yeah.
before this thing gets
It's
ugly.
Not
Yeah.
worth going to prison over.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or derailing a presidential administration over.
Over a diary that's
Yeah. Read my diary. I don't care.
Yeah.
Michael Scott's got read in the deposition. Toby
XO.
laughed.
XOXO. Michael. Yeah.
Those who speak don't know, and those who know don't speak. We win together. We lose together. You're my guys. And I'm yours.
Didn't expect
There's
this.
nothing I wouldn't do for you.
You can give me a good reason why the White House can't support the elimination of the penny.
Where's the Speaker of the House from?
He's from Illinois, which, by the way, is the only state where you can put pennies in a toll machine.
There you
Why
go.
is that, you suppose?
It's because...
It's because Lincoln's from Illinois.
Toby made the remark in response to some new polling data. It was offhand. Obviously, he meant it as a joke, and he regrets it.
I'm not writing it.
Why not?
It's not news.
This commits the United States to a scenario where we'd be invading Holland. For Operation Rolling Thunder. Yeah, you were piloting an F-105 fighter chief.
Is he telling him that he would have been guilty of war crimes? I wonder. Yeah.
It was a military target.
It was a civilian target. It was a dam. There were 11 civilian casualties.
Imagine putting that on somebody all
Right.
these years later.
By the way, you were technically a war criminal once. Yeah.
Because you could be charged and tried for a war crime. All wars are crimes.
Yeah. I mean, really.
That's coming from a general.
Yeah.
That's amazing. This episode is incredible.
You'd like to have a guy have that kind of perspective over it, you know? The guys in charge of running a war should have that kind of feeling about it.
It's a senseless act.
Right.
They should recognize that. That's
There are costs.
If guns are meant to deter the threat of crime, what's the point of concealing them? I mean, wouldn't you want the criminal to see that you've got a gun? You outed me, John. With that trip to Nashua, with the oil companies. You wanted people to start asking questions.
And the only way you're gonna win is if I'm on the ticket.
That's
You know
probably
that, don't
true.
you, sir?
You'll go to Texas.
I want a seat at the table.
Yeah.
You'll read it there. You got an hour.
Yeah.
If I read any of this in the newspaper or anything happens I don't like, I've got the entries for October 4th and 5th. You.
Yeah.
That's fair.
I don't think Cliff is doing that.
I don't either.
I don't think that's the case.
I don't think Cliff is out to burn anybody.
I think he's a good guy.
Yeah. This is one of those another instance where where Sorkin is writing reasonable Republicans.
Yeah.
Which I like when he does.
Cliff is a good guy. He's a Boy Scout. The voyeurism thing we talked about earlier,
Right.
it only got worse.
It only got so much worse.
There's
You're right.
more eyeballs now.
Yeah.
You know? Wow, that was powerful.
God, that was a good episode.
It was. There was 5 different storylines that were happening at the same time, and they were all interesting.
Yeah.
The Penny stuff was fascinating.
I love the fact that this whole episode was about here's some things going on, here's some real issues, here's some constructed for the narrative, but all of them aren't black and white. They're not all cut and dry. None of them were.
No.
God, you can start with guns.
So we're not going to sit here and say something that hasn't been said a million times already. This hasn't been debated every single day because
everyone has
a yelling match here.
It's a complicated issue, and everyone's kind of where they are on that. Here's the only thing I'll say about it. There are basically a two-side split on the gun thing, right? Do something as far as gun access, and the other side that says don't. And both are valid. For sure. I have my opinion. I'm more on the first group, I'll be honest. But here's my thing. From the second group, that's fine, but what I don't understand is what is your answer on the solution? Because there hasn't been one presented. We've had more mass shootings, more school shootings,
every day.
Right. To put your fingers in ears and say Second Amendment, as children get gunned down at schools, isn't an answer. It's not an answer. Blaming video games and movies and mental health without doing something about it isn't an answer either. So if the answer isn't fewer guns or tougher access to guns, then what is it? Because the status quo is not okay, and I'll argue with anybody about that. I don't know what the answer is. I know what I think the answer is. There are other people who have different ideas what the answer is, but what is it? Because what we're doing now isn't working.
And I agree with you, like you said with the video games and movies thing. I mean, like
we can blame anything else.
Look, those people that make that argument too, like love John Wayne and American values. Well, look at that. That's all guns and stuff too.
Yeah, have you seen The Searchers?
Yeah. I get it. And I understand that can be a rite of passage from a father to son, but at the same time...
Toynes didn't say anything wrong. He really didn't.
But we have to look at the weapons.
Right.
Like the actual weapons are used for war.
I just don't know where okay, then fine, there's a line. I went to the shooting range last week. I did.
Yeah.
I took a handgun with me to the shooting range. I don't own an AR-15 or anything else like that, but there's got to be, my right to go to the shooting range shouldn't mean that some child somewhere gets to die in a school.
Yeah, it's not.
I'll give up my gun if that's what everyone decides.
Not pertinent to my life,
right? Exactly.
But you're right. We grew up here.
Yeah, we live in the Midwest. There are guns everywhere. You grew up around guns.
And to those that say it's a mental health issue, I agree with you. But
yes,
there needs to be some sort of way to stop it. You know,
Right.
like,
If it's
the
a no,
access to it. You know?
if the problem is that unstable people are getting guns, then we need to find a way to keep unstable people from getting guns, and maybe that means it should be tougher to get guns.
It's like in a perfect world, right?
Right.
You know,
But at any rate,
yeah,
we've
we'll move on from that one.
Yeah.
Don't yell at us in the comments.
Right.
We understand your points.
Again, whatever you're going to say about the Second Amendment and freedoms and all of that, you're right. This isn't an easy issue. I just am done with children getting killed in schools and people getting killed going to the mall or church or any number of other places.
People arguing about it online and on the news. It's like, it's enough. Enough is enough. Can we stop?
Can we do something?
Let's go back to muskets. Go back to muskets.
Right.
Let's
Everyone,
do that.
everyone grab a musket. I'd be happy if we all just had muskets.
Right. But no. Okay. So moving on from that, I really liked the Leo scene with forgive me, what was his name, the general he was talking with?
I don't know. I didn't catch I don't remember the actor's name, or I just know I've seen him in a million things.
Sure.
Like I said, he was Major Dad. He's been in a lot of movies. I think he was on the Deadwood TV show for a while. I've seen a little bit of that.
Oh, okay. I didn't watch that. I have never seen Deadwood.
Well, I saw like one episode and I saw the movie, and I think he might have been in either one of the episodes of the movie. I didn't get context because I haven't really watched the show, so I don't really know. But
Gotcha.
I do believe he was on it. I could be wrong, but I think he was on it. Either Deadwood or Boardwalk Empire. I don't know. Anyway, sorry, I've digressed. Go ahead.
I really liked that moment. You kind of thought the whole time he was there, he would be this pro-war, you know.
Yeah, he's a general. He's in there arguing against war crimes tribunals, right?
Yeah, and he kind of walked out of that meeting, and I was kind of on his side a little bit there.
You had to be. It's like, well, the idea is if everyone can be prosecuted for everything perceived wrong in war, and the point is everything is wrong in war, then everybody can be prosecutable for war. It's another just like the gun thing. It's a complex issue where the line's got to be somewhere, but it's hard to place it. You know,
everything was paralleled very well this episode.
Very well.
Because you had that in the gun situation.
God, even the penny argument was a good metaphor for everything else. It was like, this seems like a silly or cut and dry issue, but it's not.
It's really not.
There are layers to all of these things.
And he kind of blew Leo's mind a little bit there at the end, because even Leo was like, why would you say that? That happened like 35 years prior. And he's like,
I had
just
to
now finding out.
I had to tell you, right? Why are you telling me this? I'm telling you this because, the people that you're looking to prosecute here, you're one of them. And I get it.
It doesn't make Leo a criminal at all.
No, or a worse guy or whatever. Yeah,
he had orders and he had to follow those orders, and
he didn't know and all that. Right?
Horrible. Right. Obviously, it's atrocities.
Yeah, that the idea is terrible things are going to happen in war, but that also doesn't mean that there aren't actual war crimes, right?
Yeah.
The Nazis who were killed at Nuremberg were terrible, terrible monster people who were doing things like executing millions of Jews in captivity. That's the final solution. There should be consequences for that. So. Levels.
These are things that don't have definite answers, but they're worth talking.
Not easy ones, right? Yeah, this is a great complex issue show. Like the world is actually a complicated place.
It is.
I love this. This was a fantastically written episode. It had funny moments. It had dark. It had a lot of dark moments. It was a very thoughtful episode and very thought provoking. The show has not slowed down a bit.
No, and to cap it all off, I just want to point out the beginning of the episode, Bartlett's monologue about the church thing.
Right.
That won me over from the get-go.
The power of oratory. Yeah.
And I love the whole point he made about us all being voyeurs and just watching things and maybe it's a slow news day.
Right.
And so they write these stupid gossip articles about what's happening.
And it got bookended with the journalist.
Yes.
So kind of saying the same thing,
and
right? Yeah.
What a fantastic character to be like, I don't care. There's way too many things happening in the world for me to worry about what a staffer said to Toby.
Yeah, you want me to write a gossip column right now, or they want me to write a gossip column right now, and I don't want to do it. The world's got more complex issues.
Sometimes it is worth talking about those things, but at the same time, with the issues that are happening around the world, we need to really consider what is important, what is not important.
Yeah, I'm going to watch this one again, probably this week before, because this was a really brilliant episode in terms of thematically really kind of jumping into the world is not a simple place.
Exactly. And
this was really, really good. This is one of my favorite episodes, honestly.
I was just going to say, we just finished it, but I would say so far in season 3, this is probably my favorite.
For 3, for sure, for me, yeah.
Yeah, it's just this is when the West Wing's at its best, right? When you have these prescient issues, but at the same time, they inform, they pick your brain, they make you think, and they're worth rewatching.
Yeah, somebody commented because so many people were like, I just put because of schedule the finale for season 2, Two Cathedrals, was the last thing we put up on YouTube, right? Although it was like a month ago that we watched it. We're ahead on Patreon.
Stay ahead over here, yeah.
And somebody said it's interesting. So many people are saying that season 2 is their favorite because I think season 3 is the best written of the 3.
Wow.
And I was like, or of the first 3, it's the best written. I'm like, that's kind of interesting. But I'm kind of seeing how real, like, I feel like I love season 2 to death.
Me too.
And Two Cathedrals is my favorite episode so far.
Me too.
Or right up there
With Noel.
With one, one or two. Yeah, the 2 Christmas episodes are up there for me for sure. But I think that again the nuances of the writing and how the precision.
It's more refined.
Yeah, very much so. The precision storytelling, right?
Yeah.
And the way the narratives are being laid out very intelligently here. Again, it's hard to believe this was a network show because network shows are usually so watered down and dumbed down because they need to catch such a wide swath of a large audience.
I agree.
Lowest common denominator stuff.
You don't want to isolate anybody or
yeah, exactly. Off. Yeah, you don't want it to be over people's heads because it's network. And oh my God, this show it was a hit too. I've kind of wish networks would look at this and be like, you know what, we can actually make smart television shows without pandering in any way and still be a hit, still get a major audience. Because the West Wing's done it.
They're in the sweet spot right now, right?
Yeah, for sure.
You're 3 years deep. Like I said, you're more refined now than ever. You have some success. You've got plenty of steam.
Yeah, you're 50 episodes deep at this point. Yeah,
plenty of steam, and like it's kind of genius to have a show set in Washington and in the West Wing because you're never really going to run out of issues.
No, not in our world.
Yeah,
we find new ones every year. I'm kind of wondering what this show would look like if it was made right now after the last 6 years or 8 years that we've dealt with.
I think the way to do it now, it'd have to be more of like a farce. It's like a very black comedy, like a very dark.
Yeah, kind of like Veep did it.
I've never seen Veep.
Right. That's what it is. I've seen jokes. Was it Showtime or HBO that was Veep?
I think that was HBO.
Yeah, it was before I had HBO, but I've definitely seen plenty of clips of Veep, and it's pretty biting for what I saw. Ads for it, but
the truth is often stranger than fiction. So
right.
There you go.
This was a great episode, guys. If you're watching us just on YouTube, or I recommend even not with us on Patreon, just go back and watch this episode on your own.
It was perfect.
It's utterly fantastic episode of television. All right, we'll catch you in the next one, guys.
See ya.